Hi, been a while, hey. So today, after almost 2 weeks, we don't talk about that. We are going to continue the game. Will they be less horny? I hope so, please. Also, I also need to be careful because I check the CGs of the one main scene that it's remaining before we can choose the endings, I believe. And there is no previous scene that I can show before it's bad. I gotta be careful today once again. It's the standard by now. I promise I don't do it on purpose, okay? We're gonna continue the cringe? I hope not. Okay, let me pause the music and let's get started, shall we? I really hope this doesn't become the standard of waiting such a long period of time. Oh yeah, we'll leave it when, to tell the truth, we were in it from the start. We'll leave it there.
Madarame さんとお前がここにいるってこともな。
Oh yeah, they know. Let me know. He's confused. I'm playing back like an idiot. Also, hold on. Maybe a bit more like that. I might have looked hilarious because Kotaro started laughing.
実は俺らずっとマダラメさんと連絡取ってたんだ。
しかもマダラメさんが新興味へ戻ってくる前からです。
どういうことだ？
Exactly what they are saying, Towa.
そのまんまだよ。
I did I had to say the same as this dude. Anyways. As if on cue, the door opened and Madarame himself walked in. Perplexed, I fixed them all with a blank look.
マダラメってあの
The other man looked at Madarame in terror.
マジかよクソ殺さないでくれ頼むからやめてくれ
He must have heard all the crazy rumors floating around about Madarame. Panicking, he scrambled backwards to distance himself.
誰にも言わねえからだからこの首輪を外してくれ頼むよ見逃してくれ
Madarame strode over to him and kicked him in the face.
何の役にも立たない奴は存在する意味がないな。黙ってろ。
He stared down coldly at the man in the collar. The other man pressed both hands to his face and groaned in pain. I could see blood dripping from his chin. Maybe his nose was broken. Kotaro crouched down, smirking.
マダラメさん、マネーマッチに出たら大儲けできるんじゃね？
マネーマッチ。
榊さんがこっそり開催してる金と命をかけたデスマッチです。大抵は負債者が借金返済のために出場することが多いんですけどね。
マダラメさんなら絶対負けないでしょ。
But Madarame let out an annoying sigh.
くだらねえ。俺は榊や遠野みたいに金に意地汚くないからな。
ひとまず場所を変えませんか。トワさんにも説明しなくちゃいけませんし。
That could be nice.
よっしゃそんじゃ行くか。
The family together, in a sense. Kotaro promptly straightened up.
行くぞ。
Clueless, I followed them out of the room. Once we moved to a different building, they explained to me how they were connected. After the Takasato shuttled, Madarame revived and fled Japan. Survive, not revive. Survive? Right into plot? I mean, taking into account what happened last time, at least they can give some plot, you know? As for Kotaro, Mayo, and Eiji, they weren't always part of the Madarame faction, but they liked him. Eiji in particular kept in touch with him even after he went abroad. Then, when the leader died, Madarame came back to Japan to destroy the Takasato Gumi, and they all agreed to help him.
別に高里組に恨みがあるとかそういうわけじゃねえんだけどよ。マダラメさんが潰したいって言うから乗ったんだ。
Remember on Ray's route when Eiji mentioned that there was an attack on the Takasato Gumi headquarters? I wonder who was behind. Kotaro sat cross-legged on the concrete and unwarped a pastry. The ground was littered with pastry, sandwiches, food, and more. All of it was brought here from the last hideout. Like Kotaro, Mayu sat on the floor, spinning his notebook in his mouth.
こういう食べ物とか飲み物も俺たちがいつもマダラメさんに渡してたよ。
That could explain how Madarame always managed to bring a ton of stuff back to the hideout. Eiji was busy gathering intel on his phone, so he didn't join the conversation much. Likewise, I just sat there and smoked. I considered asking Madarame to explain why he left Japan or why he came back to destroy the Takasato Gumi, but decided against it. Whether he was in a bad mood or just not interested in talking, I wasn't sure. Either way, he hadn't said a word the whole time. Like a haze, his mouth was barely moving. The trio took the hint and didn't ask him about anything. In the end, the conversation focused on their short-term plans for the Takasato Gumi. He just wanted to do it because... I don't even remember if they actually said why. Just because. After the other three left, the room went quiet. I'm panicking. Please don't have a scene right now. Please wait. Madarame was a man of few words, and I wasn't much better, so we generally didn't talk much. Until recently, I could never have endured the silence, but now I didn't really care. It is still not nounned. I can't read that. At me a little, of course, but not nearly as much as before. Sitting against the wall, I zoned out and smoked a cigarette. Then I felt a pair of eyes on me and looked over. Madarame was staring at me from his usual chair.
平気なのか
I frowned in confusion at the sudden question.
何無音を嫌がってただろう
You're asking now. After you kept him in a room, in silence, for several days. No. Madarame had known this about me ever since the old days. I averted my gaze away from him and towards the window.
なあ多分そうか
The conversation died, and the silence returned. As I flicked my third cigarette butt to my feet, I hear a faint sound from the window. I look over to find a little lamp curled up on the concrete floor. It was a cat with big green eyes. I wonder if it has the same design as the cat that they own. Like the artist that made most of the art. I wonder if it has like the same design. It looked at me and meowed. Then Madarame rose from his chair and walked over to it. I expected him to shoo it away, but instead he grabbed a sandwich, ripped off a piece, and tossed it to the floor. The cat eagerly pounced. For a moment I was stunned, but then I remembered that he was a cat lover. Back in the day, when a stray cat found its way into Madarame's apartment, I fed it, and then it moved in permanently. He loved that cat to bits.
あんたこそ変わってないな
I muttered quietly. He looked at me and smirked.
似てるだろ
I mean, I can't deny that.
う何がお前とこれ
He jerked his chin at the cat eating happily.
どこが
I frowned. At the very least, I was mostly... I don't think that's the point. He chuckled and looked back at the cat. As I rolled my eye, I thought back to our days in the Takasato gumi.
おいおいマダラメお前猫が好きなのか
ああ、かわいいからな。
意外だな喧嘩してる時のお前を知っちまうととても小動物を可愛がるようなやつには見えねえよ
Blonde Towa? It's cast. I'm so sorry. It looks so wrong. Anyways.
まあ、そうかも。イメージはどうでもいい。かわいいと思ったから撫でてるだけだ。
じゃあ喧嘩は殴りたいと思ったから殴るって
ああ。
どうしようもないやつだなお前はでもまあお前らしいよ
Not that I wish I could go back or anything, but I like those dates. Kan was my older half-brother, born out of wedlock to Takasato Ryojiro and his mistress. Kaga took his mother's maiden name and joined the Takasato Gumi as a foot soldier. But after they bought the rights of Shinkomi and took over, he decided he didn't like the gang's way of doing things. Gradually, more and more gang members grew dissatisfied. They got in touch with Kaga and begged him to come back. He reluctantly agreed. However, he distanced himself from the main branch and associated with an affiliated organization instead. Kaga was a free spirit who didn't take orders from anyone. He could often strike up a conversation with me and Madarame. Partly because I was his brother, probably, but he seemed to like Madarame too. Kaga didn't care about money or prestige. He only cared about who you were as a person. He was frank and forthright with everyone he spoke to, and he had the gang's best interest at heart. Perhaps because of that, he was the one guy Madarame was willing to take orders from. The man I saw in front of me hadn't changed a bit since those days. You know, usually not being able to change whatsoever in such a long period of time is not precisely a good thing. Like, not changing at all. All this time I believed he had killed Kaga, but now I knew that wasn't true. As I smoked my cigarette and let my mind wander, I realized Madame was standing right beside me. I'm begging, please, don't make me censor right away. I'm begging. I looked over to find that the cat was gone. Please? Madame crouched down and leaned forward with an unlit cigarette in his mouth. Likewise, I leaned forward to press the tip of my cigarette to his. Once his cigarette was lit, he straightened up and walked to the window. My gaze trailed after him through the haze of the smoke. Okay. Whenever they get close to each other, I panic so much. Like when I was playing on my own, I didn't thought that much about it. But you know, I have to be careful. A big round moon floated in the black sky.
あの日も月が出てたな。
Me cambiaste de yeah. He murmured to himself.
あの日、加賀が死んだ日だ。
Every time I saw the moon, it reminded me of the very same thing.
本気を出さなくなったのはいつからだ。
He asked without looking at me.
新興味へ戻ってきてからずっとお前を見ていた。殴られても殴り返さない。くたびれた人形みたいにやられっぱなしだ。いつからそうなった？
I thought back to how I used to be. But when we were together, I was extremely combative. To be clear, I didn't go around picking fights with everyone, but if you pushed my buttons, I would kick your ass without batting an eye. Once I started punching, I couldn't stop until the other guy went down, even if my life was in danger. I wasn't afraid of dying, nor was I afraid of killing my opponent. I'm not sure about that. To me, it was just fun. I like to hurt and I like it to get hurt back. This is reminding me of one line I read earlier today on another stream. But now that switch had rushed over. I had learned that it was easier to let the other person do all the work. What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. This applies to sex too, and even my art. It was easier and faster to just do what someone else wanted. If I died, then so be it. I lowered my gaze from the window to the floor. Ash fluttered down from the tip of my cigarette. At no point had I forgotten who I used to be when I was with him. But not for lack of trying.
全部どうでもいいと思ったのはあの構想の後からだ。加賀が死んで、右目も死んで、あんたも消えてからこうなった。
I wasn't directly traumatized. I'm not sure about that, my dude. But something inside me slowly died. That's kind of like a trauma, you know? None of it mattered. It was all just a hassle. Granted, I was always apathetic and lazy. But some part of me changed that night. Perhaps I lost my forward momentum without Madarame around to bark orders.
本当に似てるな。
Madarame looked at me and sneered.
何が？お前と猫だよ。バカにしてるのか。
Confused, I saw him a dirty look.
放っておいても勝手に生きるんだろうが、みすぼらしく汚れて痩せ細り、衰える。だから、お前には飼い主が必要なんだ。
Okay. He grinned like he had read my mind. Before now, the old me would have snapped at him sarcastically. But the new me didn't feel the need to argue. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. All because of that cat. It had reminded me of what life was like with him. And now I was burned with all this unnecessary sentimentality. I can't read. But I had no intention of admitting it, so instead of responding, I exhaled cigarette smoke. Beyond the house, I could see the full moon silently shining down on us. I think you may need a bit more today. The silence lingered. Madarame gazed through the window for a while, then pulled his phone out and looked over at me.
そろそろ動くか。
I shot him a questioning look from my spot on the floor.
仕事だ。
仕事？
今夜、高里組が運営する会員制カジノに遠野が客を連れてくるらしい。その席へ潜入しよ
う。どうやって？
素性がバレないように変装して遠野の護衛として入り込む。小太郎と舞も同行する。お前はうまく遠野に近づいてこう言え。まだらめがしびれを切らしてるから早く来いってな。
His lips curled in a sneer.
なんでわざわざそんなこと？
本気にさせるためだ。あいつはプライドが高いからな。今はこそこそと逃げ回ってるようだが、煽れば出てくるだろう。
Mama, no. We already saw that on Taco's Road. We don't need that again.
遠野は俺が復讐に来たと思って探し出して殺そうとするはずだ。 自分の命を脅かす危険を排除するために。榊は逆だ。生き延びるためなら平気で尻尾を巻いて逃げ帰る。できれば自分の手は汚したくないってタイプだ。
俺じゃなくてもいいだろ。
お前だからいいんだよ。面白いだろうが。わざわざ回りくどい真似をするのも含めてな。
Just because he felt like it. Mayo tried. At the moment the door opened, Kotaro and Mayo walked in. Both of them were wearing suits.
よう、さっきぶり。マダラメさんに頼まれてたもの持ってきたぜ。
Kotaro set a large duffel bag on the floor as he spoke.
これなんだと思う？トワの変装セットだって。トワ、お前これから俺たちの手下になるよ。
Mayo seems to be strangely gleeful about this.
開けてみろ。
I got up, walked over to the duffel bag and zipped it and pulled out its contents. A button-down shirt, a necktie, a sweat jacket, and slacks, socks, shoes, leather gloves, and sunglasses. Included was a hairbrush, hairspray, and some liquid makeup.
これは
I held up the bottle of beige liquid. Kotaro tapped his cheek.
それを塗って傷を隠すんだとよ。お前、すげえ色男になるんじゃねえか。
Ignoring his playful comments, I looked over at Madarame. I wanted to protest, but he gave me a commanding look. Reluctantly, I started to stretch, and Kotaro let out a wolf whistle. After I buttoned my shirt and pulled on my jacket and slacks, I reached for the tie.
ネクタイなんか結べないんじゃないの？ちなみに俺は結べないよ。
As Mayo jeered at me, I smirked defiantly. This is so silly, but it's so funny.
俺もだ。
And then I did it right in front of him.
へえ、トワの嘘つき。
That's cute.
やるじゃん。
お前よりも物覚えがいいからな。
カ
結べて当然だろう。こいつは育ちがいいんだ。
そういやそうだった。親父の息子だもんな。
I stepped into my new shoes, then took the airbrush, hairspray, and foundation into the bathroom. With the mirror as my guide, I painted over the scars on my face and hands. Then made an attempt at doing my hair. Get ready. He doesn't look that bad, I will say. It's strange, but he doesn't look that bad. When I walked back out to the main room, Kotaro started clapping like an asshole.
よ、色男。
いいね。
孫にも衣装ってやつだな。
I glared at each other of them in turn.
んじゃ、行きますか。
ごっこ遊びの始まり。
With that, Kotaro and Mayu headed for the door.
行ってこい。
Madarame folded his arms and grinned at me. I shot him a side glance, then left the room. It looks a bit. I think he puts on the sunglasses. I think he looks a bit more goofy with them on. We left the deathmatch area, peeled into Kotaro's car, and drove to Kowa Street. I sat in the back seat and stared out at the window at the night scape flying past in a single blur. The city still looked as vibrant as ever. To me, it felt like a whole different world, and when you consider how my life had changed, it basically was. As we drove to our destination, Kotaro and Mayu gave me a rundown of the plan. Apparently, Tono will arrive at the casino in the same car as his VIP. The bodyguards will form a circle around them as soon as they exited the car, and I will join that cycle. Then Tono and his guests will head deep into the casino, to the VIP lounge. My job was to find the right timing to approach Tono, pass on Madarame's message, then get the hell out of Dodge. Just for the funnies. All of this just for the funnies. AJ had planted a remote controller explosive in the alley just outside. When I was out of the building, he would detonate it. Nice. I would use the diversion as cover to make my escape. Supposedly Kotaro and Mayo would run interference in the interim. Then I realized we were near the Takasato office, and a thought occurred to me. I look at Kotaro in the driver's seat.
まだ時間はあるか
He leans over his shoulder at me.
ああ、そんなに余裕があるわけじゃないが。
事務所に寄ってくれ
事務所なんでよ
榊に話がある
Like that? Like dressed like that?
あいよ。
Well, I guess it's Tono reunion to show the drag that he asked Taku to make, so it's not like Sakaki is going to be there. He gripped the wheel and changed course. A few minutes later, the building came into view, and we parked on the street.
俺とマイは待ってるからよ。行ってきてくれ。
I nod, then hop out. Oi. Then I walk up to the building.
あれ父さん
When I walk in, Igarashi came running over.
どうしたんすかっていうか清掃してるトアさんの清掃初めて見ましたよ
His eyes widened as he looked in my... He took in my sweet and slicked back hair.
線香をあげに来た
線香って親父ですか
Is that his excuse?
ああ榊はいるか
案内します
He straightened his posture and led me down the hall to the room at the end.
失礼しますトアさんがいらっしゃいました
He opened the door and gestured for me to enter. So in I went. Sakai was sitting at his desk in his leather-bound chair, but I received no one welcome. Instead, his friend was hard.
失礼します
Oh, true. He has been like he has disappeared for a few days, and there was no way to contact him. He probably is wondering why, or he may know why. With a boy, Igarashi left the room.
急にどうしたまさか親父に線香でもあげに来たってんじゃねえだろうな
At this, I was like, formal wear will give anyone that impression.
マダラメと一緒にいるんだろ
Obviously, he knows.
ああ
あいつが進む先には破滅しかねえそれは分かってるんだろうな
Sakaki looked at me darkly. Again, I shrugged. Did he hear it from Taku and Ray, or from his spies in the deathmatch area? Either way, it seemed he already knew about us.
かがむことはな仕方がなかったんだ
Design and look away.
かがと俺たちは考え方が違った伝統が重んじるあまり組がダメになっちまったら身も蓋もねえだろうお前が加賀側だってのは知ってたんだが俺にも譲れねえもんがあったんだだから俺は遠野と手を組み加賀と対立したじゃなきゃ高里組はいや新小組は亡くなってたかもしれねえんだわかるだろうそのことを言い訳にはしたくねえがお前を気にかけてるのは罪滅ぼしのつもりもあるんだ
自分の身を心配しろよ
With that, I turned my heel. I could feel Sagaki's eyes piercing my back as I left the room. What a nice chat. Out in the hall, Igarashi looked at me fearfully, but I ignored him and I exited the building. When I returned to Kotaro's car, the engine was still running, so I hopped in the back. I have no idea about cars, but this design is low-key very ugly.
よう遊んだのか？
じゃあ会場まで行っちゃいましょう。
The car took off in the direction of our ultimate destination. Shifting uncomfortably at my tight-fitting suit, I stared out the window at the endless stream of scenery. Why? Car, I don't like it, looks ugly. We found a parking lot on Hawaii Street and parked it in an empty space.
ここから少し歩くぞ。
Is he going to put the... Is he going to put on the sunglasses now? Yes. I put on my sunglasses to conceal my face, and then the three of us climbed out of the car.
組の車ならどこで止めてもいいんだが、こいつはカモフラージュ用だからな。下手なところに路中して、泥棒にでも持ってかれたら逃げらんねえ。
Is that why it's so ugly, so no one will steal it? The Takasato cars were pretty distinct. No one dared to steal one. Kotaro's car, on the other hand, was completely ordinary. He locked the car and we started walking. As we traveled down the busy street, people called out to Kotaro and Mayo left and right. No surprise there, since they both knew a lot of people. No one said a thing to me, however.
それにしてもよ、生身のマダラメさんには久しぶりに会ったが、ほんとなんも変わんねえよな。
Kotaro spoke in a quiet voice as he glanced around us.
見た目も全然変わんないしね。今もう40代でしょ。あの人実は人間じゃなかったりして。
アニメの見過ぎだ、バーガ。
Then something occurred to me. For as long as I had known the trio, I never knew they talked to Madarame.
いつからだ？
He looks kind of goofy with the sunglasses.
何が？
お前たちがまだらめに懐いたのは。
懐いたって俺ら犬みたいね。ウケる。
マダラメさんがカブ頭を殴り飛ばした時だ。覚えてるか？
Fairly was the nickname we gave to an old follower of Sagaki's, so adjacent to his veiled bald head. He was convinced that he was Sagaki's favorite, so he tried to bark orders at everyone else. At the time, Madarame's skill was unknown, so everyone saw him as a nobody. One day, Barley tried to discipline him for his attitude, only to get his ass handed to him. He ended up with a broken nose and facial fractures, and he was so humiliated he never saw his face again.
俺は正直、派閥とかそういうものはどうでもいいんだが、適当に上の言うことを聞いてりゃいいと思ってた時に、マダラメさんが株頭を殴り倒した話を聞いて、面白いって思ったよ。しかもマダラメさん、権力も金も興味ないからな。こいつやべえって思ったんだよ。
俺もそう。それ一人だけ全然違うの。何かやらかしそうで楽しいでしょ。
マダラメさんはな、抗争の時に撃たれはしたんだよ。だが血にはしなかった。で、エイジ宛てに変なメールが届いたっつうんで調べてみたら、マダラメさんからだったんだよ。
それからだよ。エイジ経由でこそこそ連絡取って準備して、まるでコウモリみたいね。
マダラメさん、親父が死んだ今がチャンスだって思ったみたいでよ。こっちに戻ってきて、ずっとデスマッチエリアに潜んでたんだ。が、急にトアを捕まえるって言い出したんだよな。
そうそう、あれはびっくりしたね、マジで。
Team leader, I don't think he is. It's more like people will just follow him because they think he's cool, something like that.
それまでは割と静かだったんだが、マダラメさんがいきなり元気になったっつうか、どっかでお前を見かけたらしいな。
Like, I'm pretty sure if he chooses to, he will teach them all. If they are not useful to him or he doesn't feel like he has a use for them, he will just teach them and move to other thing. He has that kind of vibe.
トワとマダラメさん、昔からつるんでたね。
ここからは俺の推測だが、
Kotaro glanced at me out of the corner of his eye.
マダラメさん、榊と遠野をすげえ憎んでると思うぜ。
Wow. Big detective skills right there.
本人は何も言わないが、遠野に関しちゃ裏切って榊側についた上に加賀の兄貴を殺してその罪をかぶせられたんだからな。
So they are. They are. He looks better without the sunglasses. Back then, we all watched as the rift between Kaga and Sakaki Tono grew wider and wider every day. Kaga was a hot-blooded guy, so he was always getting into arguments and fistfights. Madarame didn't seem to despise him that much, though I couldn't say for sure. Whether he was around me or Madarame, Kaga would start talking about the future of the Takasato Kumi. I didn't actually care, but I could still feel the passion in every word he said. At one point, I found myself thinking Kaga should be the new leader.
俺は別に誰がどんな野望を抱いてようがどうでもいいんだけどよ。マダラメさんがやるって言うからついていくだけだ。その方が面白そうだしな。
俺もビジネスとかどうでもいい。全部ぶっ飛ばす方がかっこいいよ。
ね、お前も俺たちと同じってことでいいのか？
At this, I lowered my gaze to my feet.
そうかもな。
Unlike then, I wasn't eager to take orders from Madarame. But I could have to if I wanted to choose his side.
その人ごとな感じ、お前らしいな。
Kotaro left out a brief chuckle as she spoke. So small, yeah, I guess without all the fluff, like messy hair, he looks small. As we walk and talk, I caught sight of an ostentatious building up ahead. Many streets and women in showy dresses were standing at the entrance.
一緒に入る護衛のやつらとジョーだ。
多いな。いくら護衛って言っても大げさじゃないか。
数さえ多けりゃどうにかなると思ってんだろ。遠野の野郎、ずっと隠れてたからな。さすがに外とのお仕事となると隠れてるわけにもいかねえようだが。
They are back. We escort quietly, then call out to the group standing around.
おう、ご苦労さ
ん。ご苦労、ご苦労。
The group responded to them in kind, and while they were distracted, I casually inserted myself among the men. A few minutes later, a black car rolled up out at front. One of the bodyguards walked up and opened the rear passenger door, and Tono slowly clambered out. On the opposite side of the car, a portly man stepped out, probably the VIP. Tono gestured with one hand for the other man to go first. Then he and his guest started walking, which was our cue to flank them with the rest of the group. Fancy. When we entered the casino foyer, I could hear classical music playing in the background. We saw on Ray's route a casino that was under Sakaki, and this is a casino under Tono. The vibe Like, you can tell to whom its casino, like, belongs to. This one, it's so cold, while the one that belongs to Sakaki had, like, I guess, more vibe, more life to it. Light, but very big. But I think it's kind of neat that those kind of details, like, you can tell to whom its building belongs to pretty easily. The foyer featured a full bar with a stage where live performances were held. But when Tono walked in, the guests all looked up from their martinis, some even bowed. We strolled along the main casino floor. This probably looks more like a casino. The room was filled with lights and sounds. In the center, a large chandelier hung from the vaulted ceiling. Any music was overwritten by the barling beeps of the machines, but the guests in their tuxedos and dresses looked right at home. Tono crossed to the other end of the room, then turned left. There we reached a corridor guarded by a bouncer, who promptly bowed and stepped aside. The corridor was short, and I could see a pair of double doors up ahead. Two of the bodyguards walked ahead of Tono and opened the doors for the rest of the group to file through. To file through? I don't know. What lay beyond was a spacious room furnished with tables and leather sofas. At a glance, it looked like a cabaret club. In other words, a lawn for smoothing the guests. Tono walked to the sofa at the center of the room, where someone was already sitting with their back turned. When he sensed Tono approaching, the man looked over his shoulder. Instantly, I recognized him. It's Taku, right? In fact, it took me a minute to recover. It was Taku, yeah. The meeting to present the drug to them. What the hell was he doing here? At first, I thought maybe it was someone else who resembled him, but no, it was him. Tono greeted Taku, gestured for the VIP to sit, and took a seat himself. Then the dolled-up woman followed suit. I blended in with the bodyguards as I observed the situation. Kotaro and Mayu were standing a short distance away. One of the women started making drinks for Tono and the VIP. The two men clinked their glasses, chatting and smiling. Meanwhile, Taku sat beside them, stony-faced and silent. When I listened carefully to the conversation, I could hear drag repeated several times. Madarame had told me that Takasatomi was creating a new drag. Tono had always resented the organization's strict adherence to tradition, and this new business venture was crossing into forbidden territory, which would only mean Tono was behind it all. But in that case, I really didn't understand what Taku was doing here. As curious as I was, I had a job to do. Was this my chance? While Tono was chatting, I looked over at Kotaro. Our eyes met and he nodded. That was the signal. I approached Tono.
Tono-san.
Before the rest of the group could realize what was up, I went forward towards him. Disgusted, he looked over his shoulder at me. I whispered into his ear.
少し気になる話が。
なんだ
He glared at me. I pulled off my sunglasses and looked into his eyes. His eyes flew open in shock.
マダラメがあんたに会いたがってる。待ちくたびれたから早く来いってさ。
お前トアか
The instant he said my name, Taku waved his head up to look at me, stunned. For a moment our eyes met, but then I turned and bolted.
捕まえろ待て
パウちゃん、俺って足が長いからついつい。
He said something more along the lines that I'm so sorry, my legs are so long.
お前
I threw the double door open, shoved the monsters out of my way, and shot across the casino floor.
お前おい待て
Murmurs of alarms rippled throughout the guests as I charged through them to the floor. Yes, I cannot read these fancy words. Then the men at the front entrance pulled out their guns to stop me, and the guests screamed. As I ran, I grabbed a ceramic displayed piece from the hall and flung it as hard as I could in their direction. It hit the door and shattered into pieces, briefly distracting the men, who flinched in surprise. I closed in, punched one in the face, and knocked the gun from his hand. Then I grabbed it off the floor, put my arm around the guy's neck, and used him as a mid-shield as I walked forward. The instant the other guy hesitated to fire his gun, I promptly shot him in the leg. While gunshot guy crouched down into a ball, I slammed the grip of the gun into the back of mid-shield neck. Nice names. Then I flung him away and ran out of the building. I dropped the gun and dashed into the nearby alleyway.
俺はこっちを探すからお前ら向こうだ
I could hear Kotaro shouting, intentionally misdirecting my pursuers. Just then, an explosion went off behind me, shaking the ground and the air itself. I stopped looking back down the hallway. I could feel the panic radiating from the building. Now, I just needed to make my gateway. But right as I started walking, someone grabbed my arm. Distracted by the explosion, I hadn't sensed his presence. He looked so goofy like that. But I had a feeling I knew who it was. Yawning internally, I turned to look. A man stood with his hood pulled low, grinning faintly.
Madarame.
He lowered his hood and snorted at me.
その格好本当に似合ってるな
Then why did you allow him to dye his hair like that? Why did you let him? If you are going to keep giving him orders, please at least spare us of having to look at blonde Towa. Please. I'm not a fan of it. I'm so sorry. It doesn't look right. He looked at me up and down as he spoke.
うるさい
I ground and jumped off my necktie.
うまくいったか
ああ
遠野のやつ驚いてただろ
それより知ってたのか
Hold on.
何が
タクのことだ
He quivered a brown at me playfully. Blonde prated. No. Usually I don't mind blonde characters. It's just that Towa looks very bad with blonde hair. I'm so sorry, but I'm right, I know.
どうしてタクがトウノと一緒にいるんだ
エイジの話だと新しい薬の開発に関わってるらしい大方遠野に弱みでも握られてるんじゃないかそれも高里組が潰れればすぐに終わる
Madarame rounded his eyes and gazed out at the street in the direction of the audible commotion. I snapped a bit at his face in profile, then averted my gaze. I don't like this music. This music usually doesn't mean something good. From there, Madarame and I returned to our hideout. I will put the mouse on top of the sensor just in case. I changed out of the tight fitting suit and back into my usual clothes. Then sat against the wall and had a smoke. Likewise, Madarame sat in his chair and lit one up. But just then he jumped to his feet and walked over. I'm so scared. Cigarette between his lips, he offered me something. It was an old faded scrap of paper. I took it, flipped it over, and realized it was actually an old photograph. A photo of me, Kaga, and Madarame. Kaga was smiling, Madarame was looking away from the camera, and I was staring at my feet. A faint ache sparked in my chest, but I had no intention of watching nostalgic about the past. Rather, I was just surprised that Madarame had held onto it at all. Why would he offer it to me? He stood beside me and stared wildly at the photograph. Maybe it was just the downturned eyes, but he seemed somber. Kotaro told me that Sakaki and Tono had framed Madarame for Kaga's death.
加賀を殺したのかあんたの口から聞きたい
I spoke quietly as I looked at him.
違う
He answered curtly.
はめられたんだって榊と遠野に小太郎から聞いたのか
He flicked the ash from his cigarette.
加賀のことどう思ってた
He stared up into space, mulling it over.
どうも何も
Yeah, I had the feeling.
なんだよバカだったバカああバカだだからあいつは俺にも突進してきた
Silent cigarette smoke, he looked down at the floor.
俺が誰かをぶちのめすたびあいつが締めに来るそれで何度も喧嘩になっていつか殺そうと思ってただからあいつに殺すって言ったんだそしたら殺せるもんなら殺してみろって単価を切ってきやがってよ
He glanced over at me, then looked back at the floor.
それからも喧嘩して半殺しにしてやった時もあっただがあいつはそれでも向かってきた
Why do I have the feeling that you could actually, you will actually try to kill him like for real one of these days in those fights they have?
組の人間として外れた行為はするなってよりにもやって俺に言うんだ呆れるほどのバカだろあいつはとにかく自分の信念を貫き通すためなら誰に対しても真正面からぶつかっていくやつだった俺も結局途中からやり合うのがバカらしくなってな相手にする
Oh, so you didn't do it because you got bored.
バカの相手をしても時間の無駄だからなそうしたら今度は俺がおとなしくなったとでも思ったのか向こうから話しかけてくるようになった無視しても懲りずに話しかけてくる喧嘩も無駄仕方も無駄なバカならあとは本当に殺すしかないだが加賀も別に弱いわけじゃないそう簡単に殺せないことは分かってるってことは何度もやり合うことになるそれじゃただの喧嘩と変わらないだからまともにバカの相手をするのをやめたそれだけだまあ
Examining his mouth, he dropped his cigarette butt to the floor and crushed it under his heel.
大抵のバカは嫌いだが榊や遠野に比べれば加賀は多少マシだったって話だ
He fell silent and hung his head. His mouth wavered a tiny bit. Kaga approached any problem with full sincerity. No matter how hard Sakaki and Tono argued against his belief, he never compromised. He was always telling us how organized crime was built on a foundation of protecting the weak.
あんた海外へ飛んでたんだろ
I looked down at the old photograph as I spoke.
なんだ やけに聞きたがるな。
嫌ならこんなもん渡すな。
Why did we have the same reaction? I hate Madame Chuckle.
奴らが失速することは分かってたからな。潰すタイミングを待ってたんだ。とうとう組長が死んだと聞いてこっちに戻ってきた。畳みかけるには絶好のタイミングだ。戻ってからはデスマッチエリアに潜伏して準備を整えていた。そうしたら見つけたんだ、お前を。
His eyes glinted darkly at me.
お前がまだこの町にいることはエイジから聞いて知っていた。だがもしお前が変わり果てていたら接触するつもりはなかった。
Probably why that didn't happen on Taco's route. Probably because they were in a whole different location, but with Ray's route. Probably because he didn't saw him fighting back. Or something like that. Wasn't there a moment when he got kicked and he didn't like got back? Even though we played it just a few, like 1 month ago or so, I forgot.
変わり果てていたら
Confused, I frowned my brow.
あの抗争の後、お前はフラフラと放浪していると聞いた。俺といた時のお前は急に飛びかかってくるような危なっかしさがあった。だから牙が抜け落ちてるんじゃないかと思ったんだよ。実際この町に戻ってから見たお前はふぬけているようだった。お前が俺にぶつかってきた時のことを覚えてるか？
The night I what? When was that? Oh. My eye widened as the memory came to the forefront of my mind. I think that was something that he said and I skipped. So that was Madarame?
あれは俺がわざとお前にぶつかったんだ。どういう反応をするか確かめに行った。俺が殴ったらお前は殴り返してきただろう。
His lens scanned in a grin as he gazed at me.
その時の気迫や目つきを見てお前は変わっていないと分かった。今は鳴りを潜めているだけで間違いなく昔と同じだと。お前の殴っても殴っても噛みつこうとしてくる目がたまらない。怯えるどころかもっととねだるように掴みかかってくる目だ。お前は俺と同じなんだよ。本気で殺し合うことを心の底から楽しんでる。それ以外には興味がない。
He reached out and touched my face, striking my right eye. I'm scared. Don't! My shoulders twitched slightly.
俺とお前は相性がいい。
I think this is a perfect moment.
俺はお前となら。
He postured, then pulled his hand away. After a moment of intense eye contact, he snatched the photo back and turned away. That was the end of our conversation. I sat against the wall, having a smoke as my mind wandered. After we spoke, Madame left the room without another word. It wasn't like it to get so chatty. My brain replayed each scene over and over in my head.
俺とお前は相性がいい。俺はお前となら。
With you, What was he going to say to me? Before I knew it, I had smoked my cigarette to the filter. I crashed it in the ashtray at my feet. Then the door opened and Madame walked in. His arms were loaded with large plastic bags, which he dropped onto the table. One by one, he pulled out all kinds of food and drinks. He was grinning too. Apparently, he was in a good mood.
最後の晩餐だ。明日は特別な日だからな。 何の日かわかるか？
The question stunned me as childish. I slowly shook my head.
高里組を潰す日か。
それも正解だが、もっと違う言い方がある。俺が完全勝利する日だ。
He could be semi-mature sometimes, especially when he was in high spirits. I could only laugh and shake my head in exasperation.
前祝いってことで、小太郎たちも来るぞ。お前も食え。
Whoops, I cut it. You know, I don't feel sorry for cutting him, unlike Ray. I didn't have much of an appetite, but I was thirsty for booze. Slowly, I rose to my feet and walked to the table. Then I picked up a bottle of booze and opened it with my teeth. After I chugged for a while, I wiped my mouth with the back of my hand.
お前は本当に酒が好きだな。
That's basically his whole diet, dude. He watched me drink with an amused smile, then cracked open a can of beer.
あんたもだろ。
He held his can out like he was toasting me, then started chugging himself. Hey, this CG is kind of cute. And if I can find it, I will try to show you guys a meme that I saw about this CG. But this one is pretty cute. With all of them together. To be there. Yeah. A short while later, Kotaro, Mayu and Neji arrived. Together we all sat on the concrete and the party began. Kotaro was drinking the beer left and right, Mayu was focused on the junk food, and Neji was playing around on his cell phone while eating some of the sushi he had brought. Madarame was eating some of it too, but not me. I was focused on the booth.
今回はいいタイミングだったな。
Because he can drink, like he can eat.
ああ。
だね。
何かあるのか。
榊の襲名式がある。幹部が全員顔出す。場所は高里邸の大広間だ。遠野はもともと出ない予定だったのが急遽出ることになったらしいな。
トワがマダラメさんのことで煽ったからでしょ。
みたいですね。そのことを相談したいんでしょう、きっと。
で、エイジがまた港央通りに何か所か爆弾を仕掛けるんだろ。
ええ、前回の爆破騒ぎに引き続きです。
I love Eiji. At the word bombs, Eiji nodded eagerly.
今はマダラメさんが戻ってきたことが分かってみんな警戒してますからね。またマダラメ派の誰かがやったと思ってすぐに港央通りへ人員を向かわせると思います。その間多少は高里邸が手薄になるかと。マダラメさんとトワさんは正面から特攻して榊さんと遠野さんを探してください。まあ手薄になってるとは言っても戦闘は免れません。そのために
They shoot a look at Mayu, who grabbed the backpack next to him and pulled out two lamps wrapped in paper.
開けて。
I set my pulse on the floor and took one of the parcels. It was heavier than I expected. When I unwrapped it, then I unwrapped it to find a gun.
万が一って時のためにな。
Instantly, a memory flashed through my mind. The memory of when I collapsed to the ground with a bleed in my eye. Just then, I could smell something burning. As me, I looked around for the source. But of course, nothing was burning in reality. And you said that didn't cost you direct trauma? Go to therapy, my dude. Reflexively, I dodged my right eye. Not that I was especially afraid to die, but I refused to let a Takasato thug kill me. In the past, maybe I couldn't have cared. But now things were different. Suddenly, I held the gun.
もう一丁はマダラメさんの分だ。
ああ。
Madarame reached out and took the other paper parcel.
もしうまくいかなかったら。
At this, everyone stands to look at me.
それはないね。
ないない。
遠野が絶対に来るという保証はない。それに人数で押し負ける可能性もないとは言えない。
そうしたら今度こそこっちから殺しに出向くだけだ。いつまでたっても肝の据わらない小物だと嘲笑ってやる。おそらく榊は次期組長という自分の立場も鑑みてギリギリまで顔を見せないはずだ。エイジの爆発騒ぎが起こればそのまま逃げようとするだろう。だがそっちも手は考えている。問題はない。
ま、頑張りましょうや。
After that, the trio will call back to the Takasato headquarters, so they dip out.
前にもこうやって酒を飲んだことがあったな。
As I hit front, my bottle Madarame sat down beside me.
あの時は加賀もいたか。構想の前日だ。その割にくだらない話ばかりしたんだ。
Be a part of each other. I don't like when you guys are too close because things tend to happen. And it's dangerous for that to happen on you. Stay away.
そうだな。
Of course I remembered. That day Kaga got real drunk and started talking about his childhood. Then he started trying to pry into us, and Madarame was not happy about it. When he asked me, I snapped back rudely, but he seemed to find this funny. That was the last memory I had of the three of us together.
俺は過去とかいう煩わしいものが嫌いだ。
It's really hard. I wish.
時間に過去も未来もない。今ここで生きている瞬間にしか意味はない。過去の因縁だなんだと揉めるのはバカのやることだ。俺が高里組を潰すのは復讐とかいうくだらない理由じゃない。単に気に食わないからな。高里組が消えてくれさえすればあとはどうでもいい。お前もそうだとは。今お前が俺の目の前にいる。それだけが現実でそれ以外は必要ない。
He looked at me, his gaze as sharp and unwavering as the day we met.
だから俺から離れるな。もう二度と。
So romantic, my dude. Quietly, I gazed back at him.
俺が女なら腰が砕けてるところだ。
I teased him, and he scoffed.
お前は砕けないのか。
あいにく。でも熱烈な告白があんたの口から聞けるのは悪い気分じゃない。
告白に聞こえたのか今のが。
むしろどういうつもりで言ったんだよ。
どうもこうもない。そのままの意味だ。
Apparently, he had no self-awareness whatsoever. Anyone who heard the words don't leave my side would assume it was romantic. Bottle in my hand, I rose to my feet and walked over to him. Then I crouched down and leaned close.
俺には告白に聞こえた。
I hate to say, but this scene is actually really good. But why is it with Madarame? But this scene is so good.
好きに取れ。
俺があんたと一緒に行くメリットは
退屈はしないだろうな。
それだけ。
His tone suggested he wasn't worried about me saying no. How was this man so endlessly confident? No, it wasn't that he was confident. He simply chose to look only at the present. Even if I rejected him, he would just keep on walking. After he destroyed the Takasato Gumi, he could go whether his heart took him next. Personally, I was curious to see where the path might lead.
他に何か必要なのか。
いや。
I smiled slightly. He was willing to ask me outright, then I was willing to give him what he wanted. And the promise of a life free from boredom was more apparent than any pickup line. This man knew exactly what it was that I wanted. It's so good, but why with him? Mommy took the bottle from my hand, sipped the contents, then grabbed my job. Do I mute or I make you guys listen? He pressed his lips to mine, then the lukewarm liquid followed into my mouth. Suddenly I felt to react in time, and some of it trickled down my chin.
視界の杯ってやつだ。
He pulled away and took another swing. While he was drinking, I grabbed his head and forced my lips on his. It's so good, but why with Madarame?
一方的なだけじゃちぎりを結んだことにならないだろう。
It's so cute. I pulled away, then I stood up and walked to the window. Then I looked over my shoulder at him. He smiled back at me and told his booth. Why with him? I love that scene, but why with him? For a while, neither of us said anything. Then, as I gazed out at the black sky beyond the window, something occurred to me. I had been planning something for a while, but now it was finally the perfect time. I turned away from the window and looked at him. Does this mean? He was having a cigarette, so evidently he was done drinking. Then he noticed me looking, and our eyes met.
あんたと誓いを交わす見返りに話を聞きたい。
Hi, GMP.
話？
ああ。
Oops. Okay, time for the bad ending. I walked up to him and crouched down right in front of him.
あんたのことをもっと知って絵を描きたい。
え？ああ、そういえば昔も描いてるとかなんとか言ってたな。
人の願望や欲望に興味がある。
それを聞いて絵を描くのか。趣味が悪いな。
He fixed me with a calculating look. Then he smirked.
まあいいだろう。お前と面と向かって話したことはあまりないからな。たまにはそういうのも面白そうだ。
He twirled his cigarette between his fingers. I couldn't manipulate or get a read on Madarame like I could with my art models. His mouth was always perfectly stable, and it hardly ever changed color. Frankly, I wasn't sure anything in the world could get under his skin. I gazed into his eyes. Then I slowly began to speak.
今から聞くことに答えてくれ。
Here we go. Bad ending!
Ah.
It should be talk with Madarame. Yes. Okay. Save load menu. Yes. Let's go bad ending.
なあ。
Why did you join the Takasato Gumi anyway?
あれは
Someone asked me to. I forget who. Told me I could get to kick as much as I wanted.
ネガティブ。へえ。
It's still hard to picture you taking orders from a group though.
あ
I never took orders from anyone. They made friendly suggestions as I decided whether I felt like it. Full stop.
そういえば。
What's your plan for after you set the score with the Takasato Gumi?
そうやな。
I don't know, I will find somewhere else to hang out.
ネガティブ。要は
And if you get sick of the next one, you will leave again?
もちろんだ。
It's been bored, I will tell you that. Say nothing.
そういえば
I know you don't care about people, but what about animals?
ネガティブ。
You like them, don't you?
いや、
If you factor in a time, if you factor into in your time with the gun, we have spent a lot of time together, haven't we?
お前は
That's because you and I are the same.
ネガティブ。まあ
Piece of a feather?
あ
Something like that. Say nothing.
もういいのか。
Not
ポジティ
yet.
ブ。まだだ。
早くしろ。
どうする
What that face, Alex? What's that for?
マダラメのオイルライター。あのオイルライター
お前のものだ。
ずっと持ってたのか。
ああ、
Okay.
あんたは。いや、なんでもない。
言いたいことがあるなら言え。
Why do you...
No.
For how long? I know we spent a lot of time together in the gang, but
今さら。
what are you talking about? From day one. Okay.
ポジティブ。本当に
From day one? Want me to spell it out? From the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew you and I were the same. So romantic. Say nothing. ¿Qué has intentado casar with me? Is that your only desire?
そうだな。
That and you.
ネガティブ。へえ。
Didn't realize you love me so much.
なんだ。
You didn't notice? They are so toxic. I say nothing. You were serious about keeping me as your pet, weren't you?
そうだ。
Still, and so you don't need a collar anymore. That makes
ポジ
sense.
ティブ。なるほどな。
Sounds like you alright. How else would you categorize people? Not like that.
よし。な、
How long do I have to be your Why do I have to read this out loud?
もちろん。
Until I get bored of you.
ああ。じゃあ、
What is it about me that made you want to give me spell it out?
いや、
I don't need to say it.
どうなんだ
Did you feel that way about Kagato?
もちろんだ。
Kaga was a stray dog. He wasn't like you because he wasn't like me.
ネガティブ。
Don't you have any friends or anything?
くだらないな。
Do I need any?
あ
Kaga a stray dog? I don't see it.
あ。あ
A good, the sense Kaga wanted more than that. He wanted to be friends. That what made him a stray dog.
まだあるのか。
Okay, apparently the change between the routes is on here. Just in case, if love me. I'm going to save in another one just in case. And now... We go for the bad ending. Let's go. Not yet. He doesn't want to talk about himself, I guess.
ポジティブ。まだある。
And he gets pissed off.
無駄だ。くだらない。
No, more like he gets bored, I guess.
どうする？ 3人の写真。
違う。興ざめだな。
うん？
It's very interesting the way that you have fucked up with him, even though his hourglass hasn't cracked like the other
あん
ones.
たにとって必要なのは
He just stops replying. It's pretty interesting. It just cracks, but you don't see it. Madarame smokes darken a tiny bit. Something must have changed. Madarame?
ポジティブ。どうした？
What's wrong?
まだらめ。
If you have something to say, then just say it. It's so
ポジティブ。
eerie. You're always like this, you never communicate. Like, it's something this light makes him snap this badly. Like, Towa, run. Pathetic.
ポジティブ。俺は。
If you would just say it, I say nothing. Well,
しくじったか。
a tiny bit, yeah. And now you just
ま
choose
だらめのオイルライター。
the different clues,
あ、
but nothing works.
まだらめの幽霊。タクの嘘。
And we are fucked.
そうか。
なんだ何か
Say something.
嘘をつく。わからない。何も見えない。
そうか。
Well, F.
見誤ったな。
Looks like I was wrong. Like, again. They are so bad for each other. Please don't let them be together. I know there's people that like them. I understand why, but also like he snaps so badly just because Towa is asking questions. Like the change, it's so big. Madarame and Mother quietly. I don't know. Now that I'm replaying it, it's not leaving as much of a bad taste, I guess. But at the same time, it's like... As I'm leaving in question, yep. I saw him a questioning look.
俺の話だ。どうやらお前を買いかぶっていたようだ。
どういう意味だ？
お前が何を知りたいのか、どういうつもりで話しているのかが伝わってこない。
He told you what?
まあ、お前にとってはその程度だということだろうな。
You arrive in time for the bad ending. With that, he rose from his chair and left the room. Then I heard the door slam shut and realized I was screwed up. I was too intimidated, and so I lost my focus. In order to read someone, I needed to take control. Even if it wasn't possible to fully dominate Madarame, I was supposed to hold my ground. But he overpowered me. Glancing quietly, I dug my nails into my eyelid. So we are logged into the bad route now. Yep. Ultimately, Madarame's assault on Takasatogumi went off without a hitch. You know that the bad endings go off very fast, and they skip over most of it. With Sakaki and Tono both dead, the Takasatogumi was as good as gone. I thought Madame would lose interest after that, but then he suddenly declared he would take over as leader. Most of the surviving gang members celebrated his return. Since no one was around to oppose him, he easily took charge of the Takasatogumi. And of course, I was right there with him. I had screwed up his euphoric episode, but he still kept me around. Okay, I need to prepare the sensor skin. It's coming any minute. A year later. The gang, now known as the Madarame Gumi, ruled Shinkome with an iron fist. All residents were provided with free food and housing. This alone might sound great, but it came with a price. All residents were web-tagged, along with restrictions on speech and behavior, plus internet, email, and phone call monitoring. A month after Madarame Gumi announced their new rules, all Shinkome residents were given a grace period in which to decide whether to leave the city or stay. As a result, about one-third closed to leave, but the majority stayed in Shinkome. Part of it was because so many people were impoverished. Hold on. Go away. There are a lot of pigeons that are trying to shit on the fence of my window. Please note, that's a paint to clean. Part of it was because so many people were impoverished. Since the new government promised food and housing, they stood to benefit. Like the pigeon said, no. But the crime rate only got worse. Assaults and murders spiked, as did child trafficking, deaths, scams, and suicides. There was so much going on, the mass media stopped covering it. The root cause was due to Madarame's total disinterest in governing. On the contrary, he seemed to be trying to create a lawless state. As for me, here it comes. I don't think I have to censor just yet, but it's coming. And I don't like how Towa turns out in this route. It's my second favorite, but ending? No. Third favorite? It's more or less on the same level as Race. Kind of. But I don't like how Towa turns out to be. Blood gushed from the man's slit throat as he let out a gurgling cry. His hands and feet were strapped to the chair, so there was no escape. The blood that poured from his neck was dazzling bright red, dripping all the way to the floor. It's when you know everything, this ending kind of hard. The man fell out of his chair and crashed to the floor. He spun as blood streamed from his throat. I watched for a while, then licked the blood from my knife. The taste of a raw life danced on my tongue, staining my sneer scarlet. He was a member of the Madarame Gumi, but more critically, he was a traitor caught cooperating with the insurrectionists. confrontationist faction. We tried to get him to leak intel about them, but he wouldn't spill the beans, so Madarame lost his patience and ordered his execution. As Euphoria, I had hurt my fair share of people, but I had never taken any lives. Until Madarame commanded it, that's it. Only after I joined the Madarame Gumi did I experience murder for the first time. And as it turned out, it was just as easy as I always imagined. Especially for someone like me with no fear of death. After that, I never hesitate again. This is so painful to read, you have no idea. In the other bad endings, there was just... well, in this one too, he's just a victim of the actions of his partner, I guess, in a sense. But in this, there is... it hurts. For that... Why? No. It hurts. Okay. Perhaps the only reason I never killed anyone before was because I was convinced it was a boundary I was never supposed to cross. That line, it's more important than you think it is. But now I had crossed over to the other side.
結局何の情報も得られずじまいか。まあいい。
Unspotted Madarame walked up beside me. I looked over at him, blood splattered on my cheek, still holding the knife.
小太郎たちが探してる。時間の問題だ。
だろうな。
He is not unamused. Then he looked back at me and his lips curled into a smirk. Unable to endure the hate within inside me, I began to tremble. Doesn't this remind you of what happened, kind of, when he found out that the queen also passed out? My fever forced its way out throat aside from my lips.
またか。
He scoffed at me. I may have to censor just now because, yeah, for si acaso, just in case. I won't mute just yet. Also, hold on. I need to mute, but for other reason. But I didn't care. I just wanted to see more blood. I wanted to bathe in it, lick it, smell it. Ever since I started killing, I started to develop these intense urges every now and then. I never knew when it would strike, but when it did, I would quickly lose control. And lately, it was happening more and more frequently. Doesn't Lake sound only familiar to the sensations he had with the queen? The thick smell of blood filled the room. My brain was frying, melting. Maybe this is the moment for me to mute. Explore mats is not something that they deep in much on the game, but you can, if you piece it together, you can tell. Also, hold on, let me mute the game, just in case. The fact that there is sad music playing. And well, here they go, right next to the corpse. Is this stream now? You don't want to know. Pretty nice thing going on. I want to know. Then you saw it. Oh, Alex, this may be a face. It has a similar vibe to the one you have right now. Any faces? Maybe this one? Maybe. I think there should be another one, but for now take this. Oh, you have this version too? Oh. Damn, hold on. If I click, will it go? Yeah, it goes. Never mind. I had to double check if I had muted the game. He keeps Madarame keeps stabbing Towa over and over. Oh, I hate it. Well, that's a face. That's a face right there. That's something. In a similar way to what happened with Equina with all the knives and stuff, yes. Will they show it? I think they do. Okay, I will show this just for a split second because it's a bit a lot. Yay! It's a bit too much, okay? Yeah. Need colors. I mean, my tooth is pale. The blood is going to stand out a lot. No, I'm so sorry, GMP. No, no. I forgot that happened. Okay, ow. I will save you guys what happened there. Rip channel. I don't think for something like that, for a few seconds, it will be like rip completely there. What happened? You don't want to know, believe me. Saying that Towa asked him to do this shit every time, but as soon as they are done, he will take him immediately to the doctor. When this tiny. It be like that. Oh, nice, I guess. Lego. I'm going, no, don't tell me that, please. Yeah. Mm. Ouch, dude! Oh my god! Ah! Then he slid his fingers into the wound and spread it apart. Ooh. Did Towa ask for this? Yes. But he has this tendency of wanting to be, treated very poorly. In general. So it just got worse. Pass this fast game. Are they done? Yeah. And this is the aftermath, basically. Did be the aftermath. He's almost dead. He's in a thin line there, Steven, I opened my eye just a crack and look up at him. He gazes back at my ghostly pale face.
殺されてもいい。お前にならな。
With that low ground, he started walking. Together we left the corpse behind and headed to the on-site doctor's office. Entering the freezing cold, I look up at Madarame. I was feeling chilly due to the blood lost, so by contrast he felt like he was on fire. How many times will I experience this? On which time would be the last? No one knew the answer, not even me. And I was afraid of the unknown. I was so dependent on Madarame, I had lost the ability to decide for myself. I was stumbling blind through the darkness, and he was my only guiding light. I couldn't kill him because I needed him. The moment he walked into my life, I was already beyond saving. As my consciousness faded, I slowly closed my eye. And I adore you for trying to kill me. Now hurry up and make it happen. Kill me, Togo. Very healthy relationships right there. So that is Madarame's bad ending. On one side, compared to Taku's, I like it. But on the other hand, seeing Towa like that, it hurts. It hurts. While you last, yeah. Because again, they have to run to the doctor every time they make this. So it's very likely that Towa is going to end up dead sooner than later. And the whole thing with crossing the line with killing people and him feeling uneasy with the Queen passing out and he finding out about that and how he's like very self-deprecated and just yeah, it's not nice. The experiment of the character is not more. Yeah, that's more like it, I would say. I mean, Towa has a lot of shit going on, so it's nice to. My main point when I was first playing the game is to find out what happened to him, how he ended up becoming like that. So in that aspect, this was interesting in a sense. But the relationship between the two is like, Maybe we may be able to also get the good ending because we haven't gone for that long. So we can properly finish Madarame's today. It would be nice. So the next time we can go into Fujieda's. The ways at the end. Yeah, because they are kind of toxic to each other. And Madarame is clearly the one in power. Which means Towa is the one that it's going to end up losing most, you know. Hold on. Like yeah, we get to learn, I guess, a tiny bit more, see a bit more of him with the good ending, but overall, as you have seen, he doesn't want to talk about himself, so what you see is what you get, basically. Okay, they were talking a bit outside my room once again. And now we go here. And let's go to the good ending. It's on here, I'm pretty sure. Load. Yes. And we say no need.
Negative.
He knows he can get anything out of him.
最初から決まってた。あんたが望むものは
そうだ。
バイバイさん。Don't get to what was stuff does not match out to me. But good night.
気が済んだか。
After we finished the conversation, Madarame crashed his cigarette butt in the ashtray on the floor, then exhaled the last of the smoke. I not averted my gaze and let out a heavy sigh. I tried to perceive it, but it was no use. He felt no hesitation, just as I thought. He had no secret desires or ambitions. He's just a dude standing there. I'm so sorry for Madarame lovers out there. I'm so sorry. But while he didn't talk much, I picked up a lot of strong emotions. And the look in his eyes said to me, all I need is you. It intimidated me way more than I ever intimidated him. After the conversation was over, I felt freed from an invisible weight pinning me in place. Avoiding his gaze, I rose to my feet and walked back to the window. I wanted to feel the night breeze and cool my head a little. Don't make me mute again, please.
いつまでそこにいるつもりだ。
Reluctantly, I walked away from the window. The restless feeling had now subsided. We go from one horny scene to one horny scene, I swear. Is it going to happen now? Do I have to put the sensor? Because this one's gone without a warning. Hold on, just in case. Damn, hold on. Sorry for that. As he sat in his chair, I approached him and out of nowhere he grabbed my arm. Are they going to? Yep! Yeah! One thing after another. No rest whatsoever. Then he rose to his feet and before I could regain my balance, he dragged me onto the bed. Let me mute! So kind of you, dude! So kind of you! Let's speedrun this. Full on front, okay. I... Okay, that was cute. Let's go faster. They are just describing what is happening. Okay. Nope. No. Go fast. Skip this. No. The longer that it stays, the worse. No. Push. Oh, this is another face. Alex, do you want one more for the collection? Or are you okay with the one you have right now? There is another one. Okay, I'm back. I think the mic got screwed over from having to mute and unmute so often. Can you guys hear me now? Hello, hello. Is it okay? Hold on. Man, can you guys hear me? Can you guys please replay for once? Please? Make it. What does that mean? Do you want the face or not? Never mind. I click, so it's gone. Can they focus on it, maybe? Yes. How do I do this now? Okay. Let me make an attempt. Don't! Hold on. I need... Oh, okay. And that's the extent of it. Hello? No, there isn't blood right now. Okay, let me put the preview of the stream back again, because if I don't see it properly from YouTube, I'm going to freak out. Like, you have no idea. I cannot allow this to be shared. Guess it was text, maybe. Yeah, I think it's the chat box. To get what were you asking something earlier? If you wanted a new profile picture, basically. And also, I think the mic got screwed, so I had to fix that. So, nothing else. Okay, let's see if I can speak this. Go through this fast. Okay, are you guys done? Are they done? Oh, damn, okay. Can they show the full picture of this? Madarame's back tattoo? Just in case, let me cover it. I think they show it fully. Hold on. Yes. And there we go. I have a Pepe's speedrun. Matching profile pictures. But yeah, there you have it. The tattoo of this man. Pretty big. I will cover it until they are done with this. He looks so cute. The one looks so cute here. Okay. Oh. The fact that whenever he's treated with care, he's like, I don't like that, it feels weird, please stop, go back to violence. It's like, poor baby. Let people care for you. It's fine. Mm. Are they done? I think they are done. We go back to plot now, I'm pretty sure. After I pass out, I awoke sometime later. Faint moonlight streaming in through the window, faintly illuminating the room. I didn't check the other CGs of this route aside from those, so I'm hoping there isn't a jump scare at some point of another CG that I may have to, to censor. Let it be the end. Madarame was asleep beside me in bed. I hadn't seen him this unworried in a long time. If I listened carefully, I could hear his steady breathing. With his eyes closed, his usual self-assured attitude was gone. But he just wasn't the same without his arrogant sneer. Quietly, I sat up and got out of bed. The room was quiet, and a chill rose from the cold concrete beneath my bare feet. Walking naked beneath the sunlight, I approached the table. My dude, you are going to catch a cold like that. At a very awkward shape. That's because I didn't realize, but I think at some point when I settled the size for the canvas, at one point they were like A4 or A5, standard paper thing. But I don't know what happened, that maybe at some point I changed the settings and that's like what screwed it up, and I didn't notice until I print them. I have fixed that now, but yeah, that's why. I'm sorry. You will have to leave some either white or black borders around it. I was dreaming just now, before I woke up, dreaming of my days at the clinic. Taco and Ray were there, and we were just talking. Normally, I will always forget my dreams after I wake up, but not this time, oddly enough. Looking back, my dream was tinted in sepia tones, like an old photograph from days long past. This intent reminded me of my cell phone. I hadn't touched it since I powered it off last. I grabbed it off the table and turned it on. The screen lit up, and after a moment, a ton of notices loaded in. Most of them were from Taco and Ray. I had lived on this side for so long, it felt like we didn't even share the same planet. These notices were the only proof I had that we were part of the same world. They were probably searching for me too. Then a thought crossed my mind. Should I call them? It was a strange idea. Why would I call them if I didn't miss them or want to go back? I brought up Taco's address book entry. But before I hit the call button, I stopped myself. Then I navigated to Ray's entry, but the same thing happened again. Out of nowhere, my body started shaking. The chill spread out from my feet to my torso, steering away my body heat. I'm so cold. Normally I couldn't even notice the temperature, and yet... I sat quickly, turned my phone off and set it back on the table. All I could say for sure was this: I was never going back. I just didn't need them anymore. I squeezed my eyes shut, then went back to bed. Madarame was still asleep. I gazed at his face, then walked to the window. As the cold night air blew in, I looked up at the moon glowing brightly against the inky sky. A still image from my dream slowly overlaid itself upon reality. It grew blurrier and blurrier until eventually it disappeared into the darkness. After it was gone, all that remained was the moon. The next morning was raining and the sky was flanked in thick dark clouds. Today was the day of the promotion ceremony. Cars packed the street outside the Takasato estate while gang members filed in through the front gates. The passersby on the street all watched from a safe distance.
なんだトンネルの方で何かが爆発したぞ
Just then, a massive explosion filled the air. A wave of panic and shouting rippled through the crowd.
あっちは高里組の事務所じゃないのか
おいどうなってる
わかりません爆発があったみたいで
そんなことは分かってんだよ誰がやったって聞いてるんだ
People shouted back and forth. The VIP all hastily returned to their cars. The Grants had their hands full investigating the explosions and the safety of the executives, and their members were rapidly dueling. Meanwhile, Madarame and I were hiding out in an alley with a clear view of the Takasato estate, watching it all go down.
そろそろか
Oh, you mean the transition between scenes? I guess that, yes. That's something that this game uses quite often to transition between one scene to another, though. He murmured, his eyes fixed on the commotion. Then he raised his cell phone to his ear.
分かった
He quickly ended the call, then turned and looked over his shoulder at me.
孝太郎からだ行くぞ
With that, he ran out of the alley. I quickly followed after him. Panic, Takasato guns were swinging in and out of the front gates. Madarame leaped out into their midst.
なんだてめえは
He threw out attacks one after another. Likewise, I joined the fray myself. Some of our opponents had knives or guns, but once Madame got within close range, they were as good as done for. Fortunately, Aegis division appeared to have served its purpose because there weren't too many. After we had wiped them all out, Madame casually strolled toward the estate. But word of arrival must have traveled quickly because we barely made it a few stages before Morgans arrived to intercept us.
あのボレ野郎帰るやつにしろ
Madame dodged each of their attacks, then took them down without a single misstep. His expressions never wavered, even as he was crabs stopping them.
止まれ
A man shouted at us. There you have the gun! He had a gun trained on me.
ここまでだな
The next thing I knew, we were surrounded by a group wielding wooden swords and metal pipes. If I had to guess, these guns had just returned from investigating the explosion.
死ね
One of the men lunged forward and raised his pipe high in the air. But before he could stand, Madarame kicked him in the gut. Imagine the man fell to the ground.
死にたいのか
Rolling his eyes at the group surrounding us, Madame closed the distance between himself and the gunman. Then sent him flying with a punch. Another man came recklessly charging in. Madarame dodged, then struck back. The rest of our opponents backed away as the two of us stand back to back.
ここから仕上げといくか。
He shot forward, plunging into the crowd.
くそっ
The gunman staggered to his feet and raised the gun at Madarame. But Madarame was fighting the whole group single-handedly, and he was too busy to notice. I pulled the gun out of the back of my belt, clicked off the safety and fired. The bullet missed, but it made the gunman flinch. Madarame heard the gunshot, ran over to the gunman and pecked him in the face. After he went down, Madarame smirked over his shoulder at me. Then the thanks all langed at him in a freezing, but in a frenzy. I think I read that wrong, but I don't care. But he was untouchable. Using one of as a mid-shield, he fought off the armed guns. But no matter how many we took out, more kept showing up. I was helping too, but we were still nowhere close to the front entrance of the mansion.
面倒だな。
Madame muttered quietly.
どうする？
Just then, angry shouts broke out as short things us away.
おれかな
A commanding voice rang out. It was Kotaro. He was knocking down his opponents with overwhelming strength, nearly on par with Madarame.
うぜんだよこれうわこのクソ雑魚どもが全然足りねえぞふざけてんのか
As he shouted and laughed, he glanced in our direction for the briefest of moments. Meanwhile, the Takasatogans were standing red with rage. He must have provoked them on purpose to distract them away from us, and sure enough, they took the bait.
おれもっと来いや
Madame watched with a grin, then ran towards the mansion. Shaking off our pursuers, I chased after him. By the time we reached the front entrance, no one dared challenge Madarame to a fight. They all watched him from a distance, whispering fiercely to each other.
さて、行くか。
Ignoring the pouring rain, he strolled into the mansion. Of course, Motaka Satogans were waiting inside. The second they spotted Madame, they all drew their guns.
遠野はどこだ？
But besides being held at gunpoint, Madarame didn't even blink. Naturally, no one was willing to answer him. Without taking his shoes off, he walked into the house and down the hall. As he passed through the crowd, he smacked away the drawn guns like they were merely buzzing flies. For all intents and purposes, his sword was down, and yet no one fired at him. The guns were all paralyzed in place. Maybe they had seen him fighting earlier and decided they didn't want a peace. And so Madarame walked off like he hadn't even noticed them. At the end of the hall, we found a reception area reserved for blankets and meetings. Banquets? And meetings, not the blankets. Banquets. Big. Madame used both hands to fling the sliding door open in a single motion. Inside there was no signs of human life. I mean, there were a bunch of cushions, close enough. They also are made of fabric. He walked to the center of the room, stopped and tilted his head up. A portrait of the deceased leader hung in the space just above the door.
墓場から蘇ってきたのか?
A sad voice rang out across the silent room. We turned to find Tono standing there, gun drawn.
そんなに悔しかったか? 加賀のことが.
Madame got his head condescendingly. Why English has such long words?
加賀?
敵討ちに来たんだろう?
He laughed in spite of himself and slowly shook his head.
バカバカしい。それならわざわざ戻ってきた理由は何だ？お前ら全員気に食わない。それだけだ。
あの港でのことがなくても、加賀はいずれ組の発展の障害となっていたはずだ。
Tono spoke quietly as he kept the gun trained on Madarame.
俺たちは金を稼がなきゃならない。生きていけないからな。だから考えを変える必要があった。加賀の言う通りにしていたら、俺たちは終わる。加賀はともかく、お前を敵に回すつもりはなかった。お前は有利な方につく人間だとばかり思っていたんだが、違ったようだな。
くだらない。俺は俺がやりたいように動いてるだけだ。お前たちの思惑なんてどうでもいい。
だろうよ。だからお前も消えてもらうしかないな。その向こう水な強さだけは戦力として魅力的なんだが、仕方がない。
やってみろ。やれるもんならな。
Madarame sneered, his eyes glinting like a predator who had set his signs on his prey. Tono glared back fiercely, his trigger finger tingling. Certo. Likewise, Madarame plunged his hand into his inner jacket pocket. I can't read that. You get what you read that on the screen. It's fine. Blood beaded on Madarame's cheek in a horizontal line, but as for Tono, a scarlet stain was spreading across his jacket. Me, though, I didn't even bat a lash. When the two of them fired their guns, Tono dodged slightly, but Madame didn't move a muscle. He predicted that Tono would try to evade the shot, so he purposely fired at an angle. In the end, it was fear that settled the score. Madame had no fear of death. He was purely focused on finishing off his opponent. But when the time came, Tono got cold feet. He had lost the psychological tug of war. Madame lowered his smoking gun and watched coldly as Tono sank to his knees.
昔から変わってないな。最後の最後で爪が甘い。お前の悪いところだ。
Yeah.
だからあの時も俺を殺しきれなかったんだよ。
We don't mention that one. We don't mention that one.
この俺が
Also, was his smoke color always that color? Like it's red, but I don't know if it's because he's angry or it was always that color. I haven't noticed. Frothing red at the mouth, Tono ground and slapped to the floor. Madame stared down at him emotionlessly. After that, we wiped out the remnants of the Takasato Gumi. Apparently, Kotaro had finished all of the guys outside.
あとは榊か。逃げたんじゃないのか。
いや。
Madame pulled his phone out of his jacket pocket and stared at the screen like he was waiting for something. A short while later, it started to ring. He answered it and switched it to speaker mode.
終わったか。
任務完了。
I could hear Mayo's voice on the other end of the line.
どういうことだ。
Madarame gestured to Tono's lifeless body with the barrel of his gun.
榊はこいつよりもずる賢い。俺がここへ来たと知った時点でメンツを潰してでも一度新興味を出るだろうと踏んだんだ。だから襲撃前に情報をリークしてやった。逃げたいのなら手伝ってやろうと思ってな。榊の動向はエイジに追わせていた。案の定車で本土へ向かおうとしていたらしい。ポイントに配置した眉に見晴らしのいい橋を渡っているところを狙撃させた。
Remember all the many times in which they mentioned that Mayu is able to see things from a very long distance? Yes.
眉があいつはイカれてるが、イカれてるなりに一つくらいは特技があるってことだ。
でも榊がトンネルを使ったらどうするつもりだったんだ。
That's not a problem for Mayu.
それはない。最初の爆発は
と
トンネルへの道路を封鎖する意味もあった。
Let the man be the sleeper he is. He has good eyesight. It makes sense. I mean, it's still Mayu. He's still a bit of a mess. But he has a good eyesight, so he tossed his hand to the floor.
なんともあっけない終わり方だったな。
That's what I thought the first time I played. He looked over at me, smiled, and shrugged. Oops. Stay. Okay. Following the laws of both Sagaki and Tono, the Takasa Togumi descended into chaos. After the gun was functionally destroyed, life in Shinkomi changed drastically. Thus far, Shinkomi was ruled by and entirely dependent upon the Takasa Togumi. Without that support, the city briefly descended into lawlessness. But the gun's arch nemesis, the mainland police force, saw this as a perfect opportunity to snoop in. They announced that they would be installing their men in Shinkomi to enforce mainland laws. The unrest in Shinkomi was far from over, but it was just the calm before the storm of political revolution. So Madarame and I decided to lay down for a while, until things calmed down. I never went back to the clinic, but I managed to acquire enough art supplies to paint Madarame. I made use of rocks, dead leaves, scraps of fabric, anything I could find, and as a result the painting turned out radically different from any of my other pieces. Slowly but surely, Shinkomi started to function like any other city. After the Takasa Togumi fell apart, I never did see Taku or Rei again. They reached out to me a handful of times, but I never answered their calls or responded to their messages. Then Madarame told me he was planning to leave town. Naturally, I said I would go with him.
この町に未練なんてものは何もないからな。
新興海を出たらどうする？
He looked away and mulled it over.
そうだな。適当にふらついて旅でもするか。
旅？日本一周とか。
どこでもいい。なんなら世界を一周するか。一箇所にとどまるのは性に合わないからな。
At this, I smiled and closed my eyes.
ついてくよ。あんたが行くところならどこへでも。
You are the only person in the world who I consider my match. You want what I want. You feel what I feel. With you, I will never be bored. and you feel the same way, don't you? Road trip ending, more or less. It has a very different flavor to the one from Race, though. A few years later, after we traveled around Japan, we decided to leave the country, and from there, why did you allow that to happen? Why did you let him get blonde again? Ah! Her face sank into my cheek. I staggered backwards a few steps, but quickly regained my balance and looked back at my opponent. Briefly, I turned my head to the side and spat out the blood in my mouth. The slit underground space was filled with the sound of cheering, or rather jeering. With nowhere to disperse, the body heat from the crowd had created a humid haze. Meanwhile, I stared down my opponent and attempted to get the right timing for my next attack. It was a wild basement party held in a town far from Shinkomi. Whoever managed to stay standing would win the match. However, killing your opponent was strictly forbidden. En esteroides. It reminded me of Shinkomi Test matches, except it was held once a week on Friday nights. The event was also formally sponsored, and the winner of each match would take home a cash prize. Madarame and I had both entered. As I stood there, my opponent lost patience with me and swung his massive fist. I got sideways and a gust of wind brushed past like someone had just spitted a fastball. If the punch had connected, it would have hurt, but at the same time, it left him wide open. So I used that opportunity to get within close range. He tried to grab me, I dodged. He swayed with his other hand. I ducked and moved around to his side. Now that I was on his blind spot, I swung an open uppercut into his jaw. He tilted backwards. I slammed my knee onto his newly unwashed torso, then threw out another punch to his face. Running in pain, he doubled over. With a spin for momentum, I slammed my foot hard into his face. His eyes rolled back onto his head, and he fell flat onto his back. There was a moment of silence, and then the whole basement exploded in cheers and angry shouting. Why are you putting long words on chat? Was that something that they wrote and I skipped or read very wrong? I'm sorry. Breathing heavily, I stared down stickily at my opponent. Once it was convinced that the other guy wasn't getting back up, I turned to my heel. Hands reached out at me from the crowd, striking at my head and shoulder, but I ignored them and kept walking. I don't think I need to censor at the last part. But are they going to make out here? In the darkness ahead, I could see a man leaning against the wall, having a smoke. When I woke up, he smiled at me, cigarette between his lips.
余裕だったな。
まあな。
Why did you allow Brontowa to get back? A movie reference. Es del Club de la Lucha. Perdón, leí ese libro hace años.
連戦連勝。お互いに負け知らずだ。
ああ。
I planted cigarettes from Madarame's lid and slid it between my own. I made eye contact with him as I took a drag, then turned my head to exhale the smoke. As we gazed at each other, he grinned, eyes twinkling playfully. Both of us were dotted with scraps and bruises all over our faces. Ah, Sherlock Holmes. I'm Sun Culture, sorry. I only watch anime. We took part in this tourney every Friday, always racking up new injuries before the old ones could heal.
不完全燃焼か少し殴られ足りないか
あんたとじゃなきゃ燃えない
At this, it's a...
後でやってやる
Just then, the crowd erupted in cheers behind us. The next match had begun. Now my victory was old news, and the audience wasn't even looking at me anymore. I leaned and pressed my lips deeply against Madarame's. Endure the sounds. His tongue licked at the cuts that had formed in my mouth during my most recent match. The pain and coppery taste was intoxicating. They are very toxic to each other. Let's go. You read that. He grabbed a braceful of my hair, yanked my head away, and stared deep into my eye. His predatory gaze put me in a trance.
お前となら退屈はしない
He smiled faintly.
お前もそうだろう
I blinked slowly, then averted my gaze. I could envision the feeling of the fist sinking into flesh. I loved the feeling of bones creaking, of meat being crushed. Whether it was my opponent's or my own, it always made me feel alive. Our life together didn't need to be expressed in words. He was the only person who could truly understand it anyway. Madarame made me feel human again, and while he never said it out loud, he probably felt the same way about me too. And that's his good ending. A very horny route indeed. Thoughts, Alex? Thoughts? That's the good ending. For them, yes. Very conflicted. The true Madarame experience. Again, it's not like I hate him. It's just that his route was like, we learned about Towa and his past and all of that, and that's neat. But when it comes to him as a person and why he's like that, it's like he's just there. How he's presented. They have to release the CD drama of what happens after this. I will have to look for translations. I know the ones for Fujieda, Taku and Rei has been translated, but I don't know about Madarame. I need to read them all actually. And I think it's neat. Yeah, I think the same. Like the other two, I guess because they were a more constant presence on Towa's life. It was, I guess, a bit more balanced in that aspect. But Madarame just came out of nowhere and brute forced himself into Towa's life. So... Your Discord? Eh? Oh! Looks so nice! Ah! Eee. As my favorite so far, I see. It looks so nice! Thank you for sending the picture. I'm very normal about it. Okay, I got more messages. Why is everyone messaging me today? Okay, I have to reply to this later. I will probably save this. I will probably download. Anyway. I will end once we see like how the canvas looks. Or reveal now, still didn't give us much fan service with that. I guess so. My hope is that in his after story CD drama we learn a tiny bit, at the very least a tiny bit, please. I'm not asking for his whole past of a story or a story unlike the other routes, but just a tiny glance at how he is a bit more. Let's talk a bit again. I guess it's because he said that he doesn't care about the past, so maybe he doesn't feel the need, or he feels it's useless to speak about his past. It makes sense for him as a character that, you know, the past is not something that is relevant to him, so why bother? Okay, how does the canvas look now? Do you notice how... Oh? Something has moved? Ball joint and dough. Pursue the truth. Pursue the truth. Cardboard box. Begin a story anew. So yeah, we were going to be doing that. Can I go back? How do I go back? Back. Fulleda, yep. I think that's pretty cool. That also the way is a bit at his limit. That, you know, to go for his true route, we don't have to start with this. We need to go for a whole different route from upstart. I think that's pretty neat. We know nothing though. You will learn it all. Don't worry. Okay, and I going to... Can we see the Madarame painting? Let me cover this. It should be on CGs. Just in case. No. Where are the canvas? I know they should be saved somewhere. Where are they? Are they here? Nope. I thought they were saved somewhere. Oh, maybe here. Hold on. Like that. Yep. None. Eh? What do you mean, none? Here. This one is Madarame's. Hold on, I have to go back so we can see it from... Okay. It's safe. It's safe in this gallery. In this gallery it's safe. So we have like common scenes kind of thingy that they cannot be put on any other ones. Taku, Reis, Madarame, Fujeda goes here. Kind of other kind of general things, backgrounds and extra stuff. So this one is the painting. It's all food. It goes all the way up. You know what? I don't think you can like... Oh yeah, you can. Okay, okay. This way you can see all of them. Nice mouth you have there, dude. I guess this one is Fujiera's. This one... Reis and Madarame's. What's that one? This one? This one is Reis. And this one is Taku's. Which one? This? Ah, this one is Taku's. You forgot already? This one is Taku's painting, I'm pretty sure. I think. Yeah, because this is Asakura. This is Ikuina's, this is Asakura's, this is Kirihara's. This is probably... Oh no, this one isn't Fujieda's, never mind. This is other thing. Okay, I remember now. Then we have Taku's, we have Reis, and we have Madarame's. Yee. There you have it. Taku was 3 months ago. Time is fake. Also, yes, all the food and most of these are probably from Ray's root. All the food. Damn, my dude really fed Towa, huh? Anyways, back. It's interesting how both in a storage, like to go back you have to drink, and on here to go back you also have to drink. He chucks everything done with alcohol. So good, yeah. Anyways, that could be it. Thanks for coming to the stream. Next stream should be the beginning of Madarame, no, not Madarame's, Fujieda's route. I don't remember how long it is, but I think in 4 or 5 streams maybe, we should be able to finish it. And we will be done with the game. Yay! Thanks for coming. Okay, I have actually to do some stuff and I have to answer some messages now. So, get 10 out of 10. Okay, guys, bye bye. See you in 2 days. No GMP.